just got through the door. Let me
Here we go.
send a tweet. So I think this is going. Yeah, it's going live on YouTube. Hello, fight fans. A quick impromptu live watch along for the midweek fight card as part of, I'm going to say, Dubois and AJ, because I think Dubois is getting done an injustice, being second on the bill. As you can see, I've got my regular No Punches Pulled podcast co-host and friend Liam Tully joining me. Sam is out of action tonight, so you've just got a duo tonight instead of the three amigos. What we're thinking, buddy, I just about caught Chris Congo. It looked a bit sort of the Huddersfield guy where Quinn was overmatched. I don't know what you think about that.
Pedestrianised from Congo, if I'm being honest. He never really... Barry Smith wasn't happy with him in the corner. He was always telling him to show a bit more. But then Congo's excuse after the fight was, I got offered this 10 days ago. That's why you didn't see the best of me. It was a 147. It was a 147 fight, but neither of them weighed in by the 147 limit. So they were fighting above the welterweight limit, not quite 154. I think Chris was 149. If I'm right, in the comments, may correct me if I'm wrong. But it was an outing, wasn't it? And if the rumours are that he's going to be fighting Florian Marku again, either on the 19th of October or later in the year, then he needed an outing. He couldn't go from March to now, could he? He probably did need to get out again.
Yeah. Did you hear the weights? What weight did you say they came in at?
I'm sure. So it was classed as a welterweight contest.
Yeah, but he said 11 stone 1 and 11 stone 3, and I was like,
yeah.
What?
So, mate, I don't know. I would say that for me, I interpret that as
10-ish.
Yeah.
10 stone-ish, weren't they? They want 11 anyway. Let's put it that way.
Mate, I would interpret it as Congo's already in training camp. He's starting the process. He was offered an outing tonight, and similar to Ishmael Davis stepping in on for the main card on Saturday night, you're not going to say no to this exposure. I mean, it's an open workout, for God's sake, and there's 6,000 people there, free tickets. You're going to get out and fight, aren't you?
Yeah. Yep. So what we got here now, this is this Cameron Vaughan? No, this is...
Azim Hamid's son.
That's it, yeah. Not sure about these two. I'm still a little bit unsure. I've not seen much. Obviously, I've seen what we've all seen, but, you know, Nassim Hamid's not going to say his son's a shit, is he? But they'd have to go somewhere to do half of what he did. You know, he was a generational talent. I don't believe that. I mean, obviously some genetics get passed down, but the skill set that he had, his sons are not going to be anywhere near as good as him. There's only so much he can teach them. No,
I think the interesting and possibly frustrating thing with Amez is that he made his debut on the Fury Ngannou card last October. Wasn't injured after that fight, as far as I'm aware, but then didn't fight again until the Joyce Chisora card in It was in July. So he had 11 months out of the ring. Well, sorry, 8-9 months out of the ring between his debut, and now he's active again here. So it's difficult to say, isn't it? I mean, they've all been 4-rounders. His opponent tonight, I think, he's something like he's had 42 fights and he's lost 28 of them. So we know the caliber they're putting him in with tonight, if that makes sense.
Yeah. My mate there in his corner, Kerry Kays.
Yeah, I was just about to mention he's trained by Jamie Moore. So he's in a good gym with good stock. He's training with the likes of Jack Catterall. He's also there in the corner, etc.
Yeah.
So
good gym. Good, I mean, you know, he's got all the tools available to him. If he can stay focused, it's difficult being a millionaire's son, though, to have that grit. You know, we do see boxers' sons come through and do well, but they very rarely emulate their fathers. And
so a lovely jab and uppercut to the body that he's just landed there as we're talking. He's on the front foot as you'd expect about his opponent. He looks like he's going to push through the motions here. He's landed more than I've seen him land this early in his first 2 fights.
Well, luckily they must have got the mum's height because he's over 5'2" or whatever his dad was. I think his dad were about 5'6". Sharp, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's got those fast twitch movements that me and you have both said before we like to see for a fighter. It's not a laboured movement. Everything's quick there, and he's able to get his arms back quickly as well, which bodes well for when he's got an opponent that's interested in doing more than surviving, which Garth says looks like he's going to do.
Yeah, he's not come here to win, has he, by the look of it?
No, I mean, well, look, he's a Colombian that now lives in Southampton, so they've gone down the list and found someone local enough for Hamid.
Found him on boxers that'll come for a paycheck.com / cheap.
So that's your side hustle, isn't it, mate?
It is, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, doing well.
You know me too well. I mean, he's got decent footwork as the Colombian. He's staying out of range. He's not taking anything sort of hard as such. You know, he's getting popped, but he's backing off, so he's not taking them full on. I mean, I don't know what Ahmed's power's like.
I mean, Hamed to me is smothering his work here. He's getting onto the inside lovely, but then his hands are just all caught up and he's not able to let himself go freely. He needs to maybe take half.
Trying a bit too hard into it to get that one shot instead of just working himself into the spaces and creating them. He's, like you said, he's smothering himself. There you go. Look, he's doing it again. Instead of backing off a little bit and giving himself a bit of room, it was just off then with the right hook.
Yeah, look. You can't not be impressed with what we're seeing through the first round. He looks like he's got the shot selection. He looks like he's got
a two-fight novice, isn't he? He's a two-fight novice. So, yeah, you've got to be impressed by what we're seeing. It's very slim.
Garces has done a wobble. I think he was off balance more than hurt by a punch there, but he did go backwards at a rate of knots. But, yeah, the leveler is this is his third fight. He's still 11 months into his professional career. And he's not going to get away from the comparisons to Naz. It doesn't matter how many times we say it, that he's not his dad, he's his own fighter. He's always going to be compared to his dad, and he's got to be prepared for that. When he starts moving towards titles, even an English level title, we've seen it with Campbell Hatton, didn't we, for the Southern area? The comparisons to
he's having to rematch, isn't he, for sort
on the Castle card. But my point is, the comparisons he was getting to his dad's were astronomical and unfair as well, unduly just. And it's a danger of happening here to Hamed. We don't want to see him compared too much to his dad's, but
there's two of them. There is two of them, isn't there? There's brothers, isn't there?
I believe so. Yeah, but this is the brother that made his debut on Fury and Garnu, and then had his second fight on Joyce Chisora card.
Oh, right, okay. So this is his third fight, isn't it? So I'm wondering if his brother's with Jamie Moore as well. Have you any idea? I don't know whether.
I'll be honest, mate. I don't. I only realised that he was with Jamie Moore when I was at the OT for the fight the other month. That's the first time I realised he's with Jamie Moore as well, because he hadn't made a big public announcement who's Jimmy gone into. I'm not sure if that was deliberate to allow himself some time. I do think he moved training team between his debut in Saudi and his second fight in July, so that may have been why there was such a big gap between his debut and his second outing. But look, that Jamie Moore, Nigel Travis gym is a fantastic place to be. We've seen the fighters they've worked with, Carl Frampton, Jack Hasserall, to name two of them off the top of my head now. They've got good young prospects coming through as well. They've got Cameron Vong, haven't they? He's in the next fight tonight.
I'm really excited by it. It's just a shame that, he's had a couple of delays in the bigger fights, the Jordan Flynn, and because he's meant to be really good. I've heard some really good things about him.
I'll say this about Cameron Vong. If he's pulled out of the Sheffield's bill next weekend to have a 6-rounder tonight to fight Jordan Flynn in November, stand up and applaud it. That is flipping fantastic. You've taken yourself out of a 10-rounder to go into a bigger fight that people want to see, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But he's taken himself out of next weekend to have this 6-rounder tonight, and then we don't know what we're going to see afterwards. Say he doesn't fight Flynn before the end of this year, then it will be weird why he took himself out of the 10-rounder for me in Sheffield. I mean, maybe Moore's come out. I don't know yet. So hopefully it's this fight and then him against Jordan Flynn.
Straight back in.
Whatever Midlands area title, I believe it will be for, on the Edwards and Yafai card. I'm not sure, but it's for a regional title. Definitely.
A regional, a bit Midlands. Then what will be Southern or Northern, will it? So it's going to be a Midlands.
Well, Flynn's a Birmingham, definitely a West Midlands native. So yeah, it would make sense.
Flynn flatters to deceive for me. I mean, he's more of a social media presence than boxer. I've heard good things about him as well, but I don't believe he's active enough. I think is he older than Cameron Vong? Cameron Vong's young, isn't he? Like early 20s. Jordan Flynn. Is he?
I'll check now while we're talking, but I'm pretty sure Vong's young, early 20s.
And Flynn is sort of mid to late 20s, is he maybe? 26, 27?
Cameron Vong is 22.
Okay, yeah. I knew he was young.
Yeah. So as we just looking at this second round, it's been more of the same for Hamid. He's getting his shots off. He's still smothering his work slightly when he gets too close on the inside, but Garthez's achievement is to get through these 12 minutes without touching down, without being pulled out by the referee. And if he does that, then he's earned his pay, so to speak.
Yeah. Who is it that he looks like? Is it Brady's Prescott or someone like that his opponent looks like?
I'm getting a Prescott and Ishmael Barossa vibe from him.
Yeah, he looks Yeah, he's the love child of Barossa and Prescott.
Can we pull up this comment from Sam, by the way? The last comment Sam's provided.
How do we pull them up? Let's have a look.
Just click on it. Click on it, mate.
Do I just click on it, yeah?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That one, night off for me. This shows one for the... You know that, mate. It's only women watch us now because of me. I'm the eye candy, remember?
Can't hack it on a Wednesday night, can he?
But someone's got to do it.
Jordan Flynn is 28 years old.
Yeah, nice one, Jab. Yeah, he is boxing behind the jab, but as Liam said, he's getting in too fast and he's sort of smothering himself then.
So just finishing off the last conversation, I mean, Jordan Flynn's 28 years old, so yeah, Vong is a lot.
There's a little bit of a difference, isn't there? 6 years difference. I just meant that Cameron Vong's got, he's had a couple of injuries and it's not necessarily imperative that he rushes straight back in, whereas with Jordan Flynn, the weight category is at the age that he's at, he's not got long there. I'm not saying 28's old, but in boxing terms, he's probably got another 3 to 4 years. It's all to you, isn't it, mate? I wish I were 28.
It's our demographic, boys, got to capitalise.
It's our demographic, got to capitalise. It's not what I've heard about you, mate. It might be mine and Liam's demographic.
Mate, we're here. We're the money. We're carrying this baby tonight. Finding the Spotify money that's yet to come in, and he's having a night off. We're missing you, Sam, mate. We'll be back.
It's not the same without Sam involved, but here we are, mate. We've got to keep rolling. The No Punches pulled crew have got to keep rolling.
Mate, Sam makes sure we don't cross community guidelines. That's what he's good for.
Yeah, he keeps it in check.
Out the right side of the line. But as we start the third round, Hamed has just taken a couple of stiff jabs from Garces. Again, doesn't look like they're anything major, but he is leaving his chin there maybe half a second too long than you'd want to see, especially as he carries on moving up for me. He's, but again, he knows he can probably take risks against Garces at this level.
Yeah, what I don't like is he does the screw shot that his dad does, but when he does the screw shot, he squares his feet up. So he's stood straight in front of him. So when he fights somebody that can counterpunch, he'll need to fix up with that, because if they counter that, they'll catch him themselves with a, if they throw a similar kind of timing to him, he's square on. He'll go straight over backwards. His dad got caught by Barrera with that.
Yeah.
Standing, I think going that like leaping screw up. It's like an up.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this looks like a continuation of a spar. It would not surprise me at all if Hamid's still been having light enough spars during the build-up since this fight was given to him 10, 11 days ago, whenever it was. It doesn't look like it's anything too taxing. He probably had a session this morning. He may not have sparred this morning, but he's definitely had a session today.
Probably a 4-rounder. If he can't do 4 rounds at this pace easily, learning a few bits, then there's something wrong. Like you said, he's probably worked this morning.
Yeah.
Turkey told me to relax. It's a big weekend. Remember, Jay's Fight Talk is no holds barred. Yeah,
he's got
community guidelines, mate.
Right side though, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to stay on this side of the line this evening.
Is that the right or wrong side? I'm confused.
Yeah, I think it's indifferent, mate. No Punches Pulled now on Spotify for people that haven't seen it today. We are now up on Spotify, so you can catch us on YouTube, X, and Spotify.
That is for anyone that does not enjoy looking at our mugs for 2 hours and you can just hear us in your ears. This is,
or if you like my dulcet tones and it's kind of a Fight Sports ASMR.
Mate, I used you for my afternoon nap. It was wonderful. Straight to sleep.
My dulcet northern tones, yeah, it puts everyone to sleep, to be fair, mate.
It's down to sleep Saturday night, doesn't it? Anyway, Hamid is 3 rounds up here, I think.
He's barely taken a shot.
He's not going to get a stoppage. Jamie Moore isn't, from body language reading, obviously, as we've got no sound on for copyright, he doesn't look like he's reading in the right act or keen for him to step on the gas. I think he's happy to.
I don't think there's any need, because I mean the Colombian does look like he can throw. I know that sounds daft, but it won't make any sense trying to get him out of there and risking getting caught cold himself.
I mean, Moses Atalma just was interviewed by DAZN before this fight, and he was asked, when's your next outing? He said the 2nd of November. So it's not a Riyadh season card on that day. So it looks like Frank's got another card planned in the UK for the 2nd of November. Wouldn't surprise me if we're going to see him out on that card as well.
Yeah, probably. I think they're going to. I'm noticing his dad popping up a lot more. I think they're ready now to sort of maybe start rolling him out and climbing him up. Yes, Dan, Liam and myself have said, we said it in the second round, that it's just a glorified spar. He's turning up to do a bit of work.
On the subject of Itama, quickly, mate, as this fight is sort of a glorified spar, what do we reckon? Solomon Darcy's English heavyweight title, that would be a good route for him to go for his next fight?
Possibly. What Sam's saying here, I've had a strongly worded emails that it's not video on Spotify. Jay's Fight Talk, carrying our Gems Box viewership, I heard.
He's corrected himself below, female viewership.
Ah, right. I wondered, but I thought Gems Box was some young kids app that an old man like me didn't know.
The youngest one of the three of us, and that confused me, so you've got no chance there. Ahmed has landed again. He's leading with his left hand very nicely, but again,
he's stopped doing that flipping shuffle thing that he does when he steps out.
I can't imagine that's something Jamie Moore's going to be too pleased seeing when he gets him back in the gym.
No, he's spitting sawdust, Jamie, and he's not really into the flash. He wants that type of fighter himself, and he doesn't really train his own like that. They just knuckle down and box. But
yeah, he said in the build up to the Casserole Taylor rematch, didn't he? He was like, why weren't you telling Casserole, to play to the crowd in the last round, show that you're winning the fight? It's like, that's not what my fighters do. You box from bell to bell, you go in there, you do your job, and I'll be telling you if I'm not happy if you even slightly deviate from the plan.
Yeah. Have you heard that announcement that Dakers is fighting Adelaide? Has it been 100% confirmed? I know it's been rumoured.
They were meant to fight, weren't they, on the last Magnificent 7 card, and Adelaide was injured.
I don't rate Dakers, if I'm honest. I mean, I don't really rate Adelaide, to be honest.
The only reason I'm saying I think it might be Moses and Dakers is obviously, he's got the WBO international title. Frank said he wants to start putting him onto the domestic belts this year. He's obviously not going to get the British title. That fight's tied up. Dakers is a Queensbury fighter. If they say this fight card is going to be headlined by Moses, say at the Copper Box or Wembley Arena or something, then Dakers English title, it's easy enough to make, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be simple enough to make. Dan has said, I don't rate Adelaide or Dakers, guys. I think it's a crap fight. Yeah, I mean, they're not the highest of skilled fighters. It's probably an even fight. I mean, it'll be a good scrap, I think, because they're both of a very similar level. I think it'll be a sort of a Chisora and Dillian White type fight where they'll just be like two drunk guys scrapping. We're not going to see
something you see outside the Yates on Saturday night.
Say again.
Something you see outside of Yates on a Saturday night. No real technique to the two guys.
Yeah, just windmills.
Ahmed's taken a few shots here on the ropes.
He started backing up.
Fantastic uppercut here. He's taken a few shots and now he's come back himself. That's the end of the fight. Probably 3-1. I'd say you could give Garth that last round.
Give him last round, yeah. Definitely 3-1. I mean, it's an Ahmed win. He went through the motions. He did what he needed to do. He's probably worked on some combinations and shot selections. We won't hear what they say afterwards, but I'm pretty sure I'll have a nosy afterwards, and I'd be interested to see what he says after, where he believes he is, and where we know where he thinks he's going to go, but I'd like to know what he thinks about his performance and where he feels is next for him. I just hope he don't start calling out the British champions and stuff like that, because he's not ready for that. He's not, as I said, he's not his dad.
He's with Frank Warren, so he's with someone that's not going to allow him to walk before he can run, isn't he? He's going to be paced nicely. He's going to take the right fights at the right times. And, Frank isn't going to push him. Frank has no ego, as we know. He's very old school, straight down the middle. And that can only help someone like this who's probably going to have all the hype looking to push him along quicker than he should be. The interesting thing with the scoring for this fight, this female referee, isn't scoring the fight herself. So there is another referee outside the ring doing the scoring. So
strange. So you've got the Asian lady who's done both fights. Why is she not scoring them? Why have they only got one ref?
I'm not sure, mate. She's done a couple of the fights at the York Hall when I was there the other week, and she didn't score them. I can only assume it's because she's still
Training.
a new up-and-coming referee, so she hasn't reached the requirement. Because remember, all referees have to score, I think it's 50 fights watched from another judge's scorecard before they can do it herself. So she might not have completed her 50 fights yet.
Right. Okay. I didn't know it were 50. I thought it were considerably less.
I remember watching a British Boxing Board of Control explainer on it, and it's ridiculous. You've got to oversee 50 fights where your scorecard has to marry up within one round of the actual judge scoring the fight to get them ticks off. So if you were, say, one round the other way from the judge,
that's crazy because it's subjective.
If you want to talk about the British Boxing Board of Control's refereeing and judging, we can do our own show on that, mate. There's no need.
We'll save that for another show. But that's
my
dream.
They've learned from Germany in the noughties, haven't they?
Yeah.
How they used to be.
I'd love to be a referee myself. I think I'd love to a bit. You know, if I had more time, I'd have done things different. I'd love to have trained to be a referee.
Mate, there's a waiting list. I looked at it a couple of years ago, just coming out of COVID, because I wasn't working at the time. I thought this was, something to do for our local course close to me, and there was a 2-year waiting list, which is now a 5-year waiting list. And that's in the east of England. So that's counts as the east of England as a whole area. I'm not sure what it's like up north, etc. But yeah, it's not
a bit same. Sam's doing a bit of advertising for me. Make sure you subscribe to Jay's Fight Talk. Thank you very much, young man. I appreciate that.
Always on the clock, Sam, isn't he?
He's always grafting.
Always grafting. All right, so Hamid got the decision. I believe it was a 4-0. If someone who has to stand on in the comment can let us know. I believe he got that 40-36. Yeah, look, I'd like, as long as we see him before the end of this year now, like I say, he's had that 8-month break between his debut and his second fight, and now he's back out 6 weeks later. Because realistically, see him again twice this year. There's no reason why he couldn't fight 2nd of November and then again on the December 21 card as well.
Oh. I mean, he's not done much tonight. He could fight at least twice again this year. There's 14, 15 weeks of the year left. He could fight again in another 4 to 6 weeks and fight again straight after that on the December bill.
And
Frank will be involved. I mean, he could potentially box on the Fury Usyk undercard as a curtain jerker, couldn't he?
I think he'll do that at the end of the year. I think he'll get out on the 2nd. And Frank announced the Friday night card at York Hall again in about 3 weeks' time. It wouldn't at all surprise me if he's on that as well. So he could potentially out 3 more times this year. 5 fights in 14 months as a professional. That's not a bad starting block, is it?
Not at all. Get him out. There's not that many fighters that fight like the old school fighters used to fight. Flipping. No. Well, his dad were on TV once a month coming through. Do you know what I mean? His dad but his dad was his dad. He was. You could not watch him. You could not watch him. Denzel Bentley's in the studio. I'd like to see him on the Riyadh season card. I would myself. I like Denzel. He had a massive performance. In fact, his opponent, Derek Azaz, is fighting in October. He's gone straight. He's boxing in Dubai.
Yeah. Well, we had a conversation, didn't we? Sam, you and myself, sort of off camera, saying that we would have liked to have seen Bentley step in as a replacement opponent for Liam Smith. Maybe
we did say that. That would have been great.
For me, that would have been, we threw around some big names, didn't we? Such as Turkey making a statement, bringing in a big name like Carlos Adames, for example. We knew that wouldn't happen, but realistically, we said Denzel Bentley's probably the best of the British opponents that he could have got. So, yeah, there's no reason why the middleweight division is something Turkey.
I don't think that I took that fight, Liam. I think that Denzel Bentley's a little bit too risky for Liam at this stage, for Josh at this stage.
Same reason
after what he did.
Same reason he probably said no to Lewis Crocker, Conor Walker. It's probably how they've ended up with Ishmael Davis. They've gone, oh, right, who's someone that's
good enough,
like 13 and 20. He's actually got an unbeaten record, but he's not at that level yet. I mean, Ishmael Davis, if he turns it into a rough and niggly fight, as I said on Liam's Fight Night Picks, that is out on STBX YouTube now, if it becomes a rough, niggly inside fight, we're going to find out if Josh Kelly's got a set of bonus, a set of minerals on him to actually tough it out, because I'm still not sure, even at the fact he's now 30 years old, if he has.
I didn't like what I saw when he lost against Avanesian. I just didn't like what I saw from him. He were easily pulled out of that fight, if you want to say that. He got hurt badly and he just completely capitulated once he got hurt. Dan, I've agreed with you. I did say that. I think I said it on the No Punches Pulled last night, didn't I? That I'm going to go with Davis. I've just got a funny feeling that this has come at the right time for him. He was training for a fight. It's a weight division he's not ordinarily used to boxing at.
Yeah.
But I think that will be an advantage for him. Have we got somebody else joining us here or what?
What's going on?
I think we've got a look at that. He's gone now.
Oh.
Where's he just gone?
But no, I said so. I did back Josh Kelly on Liam's fight night picks, but I did caveat it with if Ishmael is able to make it a physical
Yeah,
inside
it's got to
fight.
go a certain way for you, hasn't it?
Like you've got to go, if that makes sense. If Josh does what we see Josh Kelly do, it'll be fantastic. Here he is.
What's happening, boys?
Then. Couldn't stay away, could you, mate?
No, I've only got a couple of minutes, but I thought I'd come and join. The live was so good, I couldn't miss out on it. You see?
Oh, stop it!
Make me blush.
You all right?
Yeah, all good, boys. How are we getting on?
Yeah, good. It's a couple of decent fights. Yeah, not bad. Not bad for a Wednesday.
Walk into the ring now, so we're getting this one on straight away.
For a Wednesday night, mate, you can't complain. At what we at 20 past 8.
How many rounds was Congo? That was a 4-rounder, was it?
Six.
Right. And then Vong will be an 8 then, will it?
Vong's an 8 then,
I believe so, yeah. Especially if he's looking to have that 10-rounder in November. It doesn't make sense for him to do anything less than 8, does it?
Uh-huh.
His opponent's coming out in a cape. Hughes is coming out.
That's good.
Oh, they've sort of done I didn't notice that before.
Be fair.
A Big Ben set, haven't they?
Yeah, I was going to say the arena looks absolutely sick.
Yeah, it does. It looks. That's
production and the money that they're spending is mental.
I have to say it's quite fun being in the chat. I was quite enjoying that. I think.
Happy, wouldn't you, mate?
I thought you were going to start trolling us. To be fair.
Yeah, I feel like I might go back and do that. It's trolling being on the other side.
I'm going to tell Jay how to block the comments, mate. Don't worry, we'll be safe.
No, we'll get there.
Blocked.
But no, you're right. The production for this, and this is free entry, 5K people inside Wembley Arena on a Wednesday night. How it's going to look on Saturday in
is that how many's there? 5,000.
Yeah, they said 5K.
It was free as well, wasn't it, to get in?
Yeah, free tickets.
Yeah, fair play.
So yeah, when you think about Saturday night, rather, it's just going to be on another level. I think it'll be the biggest production we've seen, even bigger than what we saw in LA.
You know what you're doing yet, Liam, on Saturday?
Not a clue.
No.
He's going to be gutted if she says, right, we're just going to go for a moonlit walk.
We're going out for a nice bit of food.
We're going to go for an ice cream. But Liam was like, there's no mobile reception.
Yeah.
So if we start driving out towards the Lake District or something, I'm going to be in trouble.
Boys, I'm going to tune back out. I'll catch you later. All right. Take it easy.
Catch you on the other side, man. Thanks for
See you later, boys. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, no, if we are driving anywhere or it's remote, I'm going to be shooting a few glances their way, asking. But
but your missus is into fights, isn't she?
I've got her into fights, yeah. I've got her into the boxing.
You never know, man. She might have wangled some tickets, or maybe.
Mate, if she has, I'm going to be one very happy lad. I'll tell you that much. But
I'll be happy for you, man.
I'm resigned to getting my updates from you boys on our chat. I think I'll be getting my updates that way.
Jabbit has said, I chose to stay at home and watch the boxing than go to a wedding. She likes wedding cake. I've been to enough. Yeah, I would have to. I'd start sneezing and that me. I wouldn't have the bottom. She can't hear me. I don't think I'd have the cojones to do that. So I'd do the old. I don't feel well, love. I'm gonna have to stay at home. You go, no, go without me. Yeah. I'll be fine.
I just need to lie in a dark room. Really bad migraine. Just need to lie down for a bit.
Dan's going. I had to go to this. It's not everyday boxing. No, I agree. I've been to a lot of big shows myself. I've never been to a boxing at Wembley. I don't really go to live events anymore, really. I've struggled with anxiety in crowds now, so I like to sit at home and watch them in the dark like a psychopath.
A lot I can say to that, but I'm just going to carry out that with. I've done a few. I've done 4 fight nights.
Oh, this year, haven't you?
What have I done this year? I've done Buatsi Aziz, which was at Wembley Arena. I went to Bill & Smith Reactpor at Selhurst Park, but that was in impulse on the day because I ended up in London bailing out my old man because he left his suits at home when he was going away for work for 2 weeks. So I had to take his suits. Got a message from my mate saying there's 30 quid tickets left. Shall we go? I was like, funnily enough, I'm not even in Essex and 20 minutes round the corner, so let's go. And then I was at Joyce Chisora. I got offered a ticket for that, which I took, and I was at York all the other weeks. Yeah, I've had a good year so far. And I've obviously taken the tickets from Hawkham. I won the ticket in the raffle from Hawkham that Jam's done for the entrance. So I'm there in 2 weeks, which will be good.
I think the last live event I went to was Troy Williamson against. He defended his title in Newcastle against.
Is that when he was still with Matchroom, or was he with?
No, it was Probellum. It was the first Probellum one. It's the Scouse kid. Oh, it's not actually from Liverpool.
Anyway, as you try and have a bit of memory recall, we're underway here between Vong and Hughes. 8 rounds, as we suspected it would be. Look, we know Cameron Vong. He's got all the skills. He's got all the flash moves. He's got the talk, hasn't he? And he's showing some of his skills here with his feints in the first 20 seconds. Fully expect him to win this inside the distance for me. We know he's been in training camp.
Mason Cartwright. Mason Cartwright,
yes.
That was the card I went to last. I think Joe Law's boxed well.
Yeah. Look, we know Vong was meant to be fighting next weekend, so he's been in a full training camp with Jamie Moore. We know. We suspect that the reason he's pulled out of next weekend is so he can fight Jordan Flynn in November. So I'd expect there's no excuses for Cameron tonight. He has to deliver a performance, doesn't he?
Yeah, he can't be labouring to a points decision. It's not what he needs. He needs to just get this kid out of there as quick as he can. I mean, he looks on point. He's doing a lot of feints, a lot of fast twitch. He's looking for that to counter left hook or check left hook, should I say?
He went to Boots Ennis's stylist for his trunks, didn't he? With those tassels flying everywhere.
Yeah, God, I hate those tassels. Do you know they were banned at one point? You weren't allowed to have them.
I see that. Was there a time?
Definitely in the amateurs.
I love the sparkles.
I love
the sparkles on it. The tassels, mate. No, leave the tassels alone. That's flipping just distracting.
You weren't allowed to have them. I know my brother turned up at an amateur boxing show and had to cut them off. Or they wouldn't let him box. And I thought it was the same in the pros. Obviously, not now.
I remember hearing a story of Ricky Hatton having to change his fight shorts and fight night once because he had tassels. You know, when he wore the oversized ones, he had the tassels down the legs. He had to change his shorts on fight night once. So yes, it's obviously in the last 10 years or so that the rules have changed on it. Not sure if it's the same worldwide, but British Boxing Board of Control are allowing them.
Well, no, because like we said, Jaron Ennis wears them. You know, and they've worn them in Saudi. Jabit, yeah, we agree. Liam's just said, and I've echoed that he needs to make a statement. He is looking sharp and composed. Hopefully, he can step up on the gas. Yeah, Dan, it's the same. Mason Cartwright, Antwi absolutely flattened him. I think that was his last fight, to be fair. He knocked him cold.
Oh, good body shot there from Cameron. I mean, as we look at this first round, Hughes' game here, he's not going to allow it to be easy for Cameron Vong. He's going to come forward probably a bit rash, and that's where a fighter of the level really should be able to pick him off. He's very disciplined in his shell, Cameron. His punch selection is fantastic. I've always thought that in the 3 or 4 times I've seen him fight so far. As we said, he's a 23-year-old.
What's his style, though? He's doing the Philly shell. He's doing the wide stance, hands down. I mean,
he's a 23-year-old kid that still finds in his style when he's in there. But if you've got the skills that it looks like Cameron Vong has, why not find out while you're in the ring, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I agree.
Especially against this level of opposition. I think by the time he fights Jordan Flynn, he's going to need to settle on how he wants to.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to mess around like that because Jordan Flynn's fast and all, isn't he? He's very skillful.
As we talk about Jordan Flynn, there he is on the screen. Why would it not surprise me if we get this announcement straight after this fight if Cameron comes through?
1 second, sorry.
I'm going to say my dog's looking at me.
Wait, Joe.
I can move upstairs a minute.
Sorry, my dogs don't care that we've got a live going on.
So as soon as your dog started barking, my one was opposite me. She just stared up at me. She didn't make any noise.
I've got 3 of them in there. God, he's a little noisy one. I've got a sausage dog and she just never shuts up.
Got a schnoodle.
Have you?
Yeah, lovely.
There he is. I think I'm a little bit behind. I think I must be a few seconds behind.
You are, mate, because they were on Jordan Flynn for most of the minute between rounds, to be fair.
Right.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we see that fight announced. If not tonight, before maybe early next week, you know, if they're not going to want to possibly steal any attention from this week.
They might announce it now. Straight after this.
It wouldn't surprise me if they did.
Get him in the ring. He's stretching off and stuff, so he's, you know, maybe prepping himself.
He's got one of those tracksuits on, mate. He's just going to rip the legs off as soon as he comes.
That Velcro.
No, tickets go on sale on Friday, I believe, for the Edwards Ufai card. So yeah, it would make sense if this is going to be co-main for them to announce it, wouldn't it, before the ticket sales?
Yeah. How far are you from Birmingham? An hour and a half?
Couple of hours.
Couple of hours. Same for me. It might be, might have a look, see what card.
Again,
it works out.
See what card they put on it. It would need to, for me to come out to Birmingham, it would need to be a decent enough card.
Yeah, me too. But I'm just thinking it's sort of central for us. I'm 2 hours, you're 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm a couple of hours. Yeah.
Right, round 2, here we go.
Not a lot in the first minute of this second round for me. It's Vong is in control. He's making making Hughes. Sorry, if you talk about Jonathan Lear, he's making Hughes rush and overreach, but we're not seeing anything to say that he's in any danger here, Cameron Vong. I think he can do what he likes, so to speak.
Yeah, there's an obvious gap in skill set. And, my first one of tonight. No disrespect to his opponent, Hughes.
Taking 35 minutes.
With the utmost respect. I think that's the longest I've gone without respectfully disrespecting someone. But yeah, there's a gap in skill set. It's obvious why they've picked him. He'll give him a fight, but he's not in any danger, like you said. I don't think Cameron Vong's worried about getting knocked out.
No, I don't think he is. Although, yeah, we'll see what happens here. I may have to move upstairs at the end of this round, mate. I said I'm back at home tonight. I said to my mum we'd probably be done with this by about 8:30, so I'm probably gonna have to.
Yeah, you're getting kicked out. No worries, getting kicked out of the living room.
It looks that way. I'll wait till the end of this round. I'm into the last minute of this round and I'll make a move upstairs.
No worries.
Been house sitting with my missus, so I've literally everything you've seen me do for the last couple of weeks being at hers. It's been fine. The parents are away, so it's just been nice.
Are they still away?
Yeah, they're away till Friday, but my dad's gone away for work and my mum works, so we're just here. It's easy. She's just going to be here for the next couple of days. And apparently it's easier to be here for wherever we're going on Saturday. So.
Ooh, do you live closer to Wembley by any chance?
Mate, I live 10 minutes down the road from her, so I don't know what next. Mate, if I'm there.
Oh, mate. Imagine.
The only, mate, like I say, I'd rather it was Noel Gallagher than Liam Gallagher, especially if I'm there live. But I'll go get a beer at that point.
You take what you can though, just to be there. You know what I mean? It's going to be an epic night.
I've watched AJ live before, and there's no other fight night like an AJ fight night.
I've never been to an AJ fight. I've seen him live, but I've seen him on the come up. So he's done sort of crawler. He boxed in Manchester a few times on crawler undercard.
I saw some of his come-ups. I was there when he fought Kevin Johnson on the Brick Gavin card and stuff like that. But I've seen him since he's been a champion as well. And, yeah, there's nothing like an AJ event, an AJ fight night.
Yeah,
just everything about it is fantastic,
brilliant.
Mate. Right, bear with me.
No worries. I'll see you in a minute.
Yeah, I'll just turn the camera off, mate. I'm not going to disappear. I'll just turn the camera off.
No, sir. No dramas. Well, Cameron Vong's easily winning this fight for me. He's just going through the motions. His breathing looks really slow. He's not overextending himself. Took a clean uppercut there from Hughes, laughed it off and beckoned him in, which usually means, ouch, that hurt, and I'm pissed off. So I'm going to pretend it didn't and call you in. There he is.
Here he is. Right, I've managed to get the charger caught around my bike here. Hold on. Let's not have an accident on camera. Right, here we go. Right. I'm back, and you are about a minute behind me. So the good news is, by the time I'm set up again, we should be in sync.
Why am I so far behind?
Are you on YouTube, mate?
Yeah.
I was watching it on the DAZN app rather than YouTube, so that might be why you're
right.
A little bit behind.
1 second, then. Let me... Let me try it on DAZN, because I can keep YouTube on while it hasn't gone off anyway, so I don't know why that's happened. DAZN, there we go.
Excuse me. Nothing, yeah.
Here we go. Let's have a look.
You've got my lovely flag in it. Sam's just asking me if I know. My missus is next to me now. Sam's just asking me if I know what I'm doing on Saturday yet. Oh, she was watching it, so she's been up here laughing because she knows what I'm doing on Saturday when Sam asks. Missus is up here laughing at me.
Oh, there's a Union Jack. There's a Union Jack in that flag, mate. You'll get us taken off for being racist. We'll be in jail tomorrow.
It's a Kiwi flag, mate.
I know, I'm joking.
Lived out there when I was younger, so it stays up. Stays up. Right. Now I'm struggling to get onto the zone, so I'm going to go into YouTube. We'll be fine. how are we looking in the third round? Anyone in the comments while me and Jay
He's doing exactly the same. He is getting a little bit more brash and flash now, which is probably more comfortable. Jamie might have told him to maybe up it a little bit.
I think that's one thing you've got to say. Jamie Moore fighters will listen to Jamie Moore and his instructions. It doesn't matter. There's never seems to be a moment of them questioning him, does it? They will do what they're
but he's been there and done it, hasn't he? He's been there and done it. Domestic level, world level, he's fought who's who, really. Jamie Moore is a well-established.
As a boxer, and, you know, he took over, obviously, Oliver Harrison's gym, RIP to Oliver, obviously very, very ill, very sad that he passed away. And he was Oliver's number 2, wasn't he? And he took over that gym. And I think he said himself, it was just as COVID was hitting, he was starting to feel like it was becoming his own gym. And that's only carried on in recent times. You can fully say that is a Jamie Moore gym now, and he's doing a cracking job, everything he's doing with those fighters. And young prospects are choosing to go to him. You look at it like this.
I was surprised that Chantel Cameron left, to be honest. She seemed to have done really well under him. I know she didn't get the decision, but she didn't lose that fight as such. You know, even though
I'm sure you've seen the interview. She said, once I chose to leave Eddie, I decided I needed a whole new training team as well.
Yeah, which
I don't
make a lot of sense for me.
Well, you can't say, for me personally, tell me if you disagree, you can't say that Jamie Moore is a Eddie Hearn fanboy, always on Eddie Hearn cards, because he's not. He goes around the small hall fights. He goes around BT boxer. He goes where he doesn't tell his fighters that, you know, wherever his fighters gets fights. You can name other trainers and stables that only like to fight for certain promoters, but you can never say that about Jamie. So I found that a weird statement from Chantel. Completely understand her wanting to leave Matchroom if she felt like she was always going to be in Katie Taylor's shadow. Look, you can't disrespect that at all, and she'll do well with Frank Warren. But the comment about she felt like she needed a change of training team as well was weird to me.
Yeah, it don't make any sense. We've got Jams.
Big up, lads.
Jams, how we doing, brother?
What did you make? No,
I only saw half of it, so I'll let Liam comment on that one.
Congo's an interesting one, mate. So for me, he said after the fight, and bearing in mind he didn't weigh in at 147 either. That's the other caveat, that he got asked if he wanted this fight 11 days ago and said yes, because it's on a Riyadh season, part of a Riyadh season event. Very strange for me, but if the rumours are true that he's building towards rematching Marku towards the end of this year, then you understand him taking this 6th rounder to get off the ring rust, because he fought in March and he's been dormant since then. I think the rumour is Shalom promised that he'd get that done in the summer for them to rematch, and it fell through. So now it's looking like being towards the end of the year.
Yeah, they were talking on the broadcast that it were done, but they weren't allowed to release the date. So they were talking like it was actually done.
I tell you what, I've said this to you and Sam off camera. I think that the Congo Marku rematch is going to land on the Adam Azim, Hara Davis card. And let's be honest, that card could do with that fight at the moment.
It needs filling, doesn't it? It needs filling. It needs a good fight. I mean, that fight's decent, but...
Mate, ticket sales, again, not a single section of that copper box that they released for ticket sales is sold yet. Not one section. And only
not a big enough fight, though, is it, really?
They've done the bottom tier and they've done 3 tiers of the top tier, and none of that is shifted yet. Which...
Dan, I agree with this. Boxer wanted Marku to win that fight. I do believe that was what they were expecting. Maybe not wanting, but he's probably a bit strong, but expecting. Well, yeah, I think a lot of people did.
Ben was willing to go to Albania to do a show for Florian when he was in his first year. So you know what I mean. He was willing to do it. And yeah, these last 2 comments, Marky brings thousands of fans. So yeah, they probably do want him on the copper box card. So he does 2,000-3,000. And
well, if it's the Albanians, they'll get what they want, mate.
I'm saying, mate, if it is, I may change my mind about wanting to go to that one. I might watch it from home with you boys.
And that is no disrespect intended. That is pure respect to the Albanians. Please don't kill me.
And if we look at Dan's comment here talking about Riley and Chamberlain, again, I agree. Isaac Chamberlain, I was at Selhurst Park. He was a million miles off the pace against Jack Massey, deservedly beaten that night. That fight wasn't close at all. Vidal Riley is probably the level of opponent we need to see him in with. I mean,
yeah,
it says a lot. What does Isaac Chamberlain actually have left to offer to boxing? And we'd find out.
And I always thought that he was the one. You know when he boxed a Coley, didn't he?
Stinker. What? British beef.
It was awful. But I always thought he was better than a Coley. I just thought he had better prospects, and I thought he would win that fight. Obviously, he didn't. Nobody won that night because it was awful. And he's just sort of plateaued since then. I think he's had some good paydays, though. I think he's done all right out of boxing. It's been kind to him, I think.
He's bounced around promoters. He's sort of, any time he's had his big fight, he's, Jack Massey for a vacant European title. I mean, remember, Jack Massey was a stand-in opponent as well. Let's not forget that. And he fluffed his lines. He was in South London. He was in his neck of the woods, and he fluffed his lines, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But going back to this fight, Cameron Vong is starting to shift through the gears now. I don't think Joe Hughes can live with this pace much longer. James's comments just come up. He thinks the stoppage is coming soon. I would agree with him. He's cut now, Hughes. He's got a gash across his forehead and gash across his forehead on the left-hand side, and he's cut underneath his right eye. He's bleeding. He's taking heavy shots here. We may not see the stoppage
as well.
Yeah, we may not see the stoppage come from Cameron, but it wouldn't surprise me if his corner save him here. There's no need to keep Joe Hughes in here at this point. We know we kind of know what he was there to do for Cameron Vong, don't we?
Yeah.
And Kerry Case was very interested looking across the ring, and I was wondering if they were going to pull him out.
Possibly. Right, so, I mean, he's, as you say, there's no reason for him to take any excess of damage. It's not a world title fight. It's not a pay title fight at all. It's, it'll be well paid.
Yeah. The cut under his right eye is from punches. And both cuts have opened up from punches. So there's no head clashes.
I'll tell you what I like from Vong is the way he's going head, body, head. He's mixing up his attacks and sort of confusing Hughes. Hughes is just that little bit slower than him in his skill sets.
Punch variation, mate. It comes from the pedigree that is clear to see that Vong's going to have, and it's going to be Cameron Vong packing out arenas and maybe doing stadium fights in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years' time. You can tell that.
Is he part Filipino, isn't he? He's half Filipino,
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. It'd be good if he could tap into that market.
It would be, but it's up to him what he wants. It's up to him what he wants to do and how he wants to market himself. His Filipino heritage doesn't get spoken about a great deal, whether that's
not really, no,
at this point, but who knows? Reading this comment, Defo Jazz, Proxy Hughes, though, he's a tough lad and I've cut him a third. Yeah, absolutely. Hughes possibly edged the first round in terms of the fact he landed 2 nice uppercuts on the inside and he was the aggressive fighter, but he's being outfought and overwhelmed here now. And if he doesn't get knocked down, then his corner may have to save him from himself.
Yeah, I think jab it boxing said another round like that and they'll pull him.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're far off the mark there, jab it. I think,
Oh, Dan Evans reckons Bellotti versus Gomez loser would be a good fight for Vong. I think he's got the Flynn fight to worry about first.
He's got a Flynn. And for me, if he beats Jordan Flynn, he'll fight the winner of Bellotti and Gomez. He won't fight the loser. He'll go straight for the British and Commonwealth.
British Commonwealth titles, yeah.
I believe the European title at that weight division might be vacant by the time this fight comes. Bellotti and Gomez comes around as well. Wouldn't surprise me if we see the European put on it as well.
Oh, that'd be nice.
If it doesn't make it for this fight, it will probably make it for Bellotti or Gomez's fight after this, which could be against Cameron Vong. So look, for anyone that's going to say, yeah, but he's only 6-0 after this.
He's good enough. He's good enough. Then give him the fights. I mean, like you said, he's got a good amateur pedigree as well.
He'd be 10-11-0 by now if he hadn't had opponents pull out on him, if he hadn't had a few niggles and injuries himself. So there's no need to stagnate his progress anymore. It's been a frustrating, by his own admission, it's been a frustrating 8-10 months for him. Absolutely. Gomez Bellotti is a hell of a fight, and it could potentially still be Manchester.
I disagree. I don't rate either of them. Don't rate Gomez, and I don't rate Bellotti. I think Bellotti's flattered to deceive, and I don't think Gomez is as good as he thinks he is.
Ooh. Sorry, good left hook there by Hughes. Just momentarily stung Vong, but he's still moving forward. Just a little check hook there. That might be enough for his corner to give him another round there. That from Hughes.
He was in this round at 30 seconds ago as well, but Vong's just on him like a rash.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm I don't rate.
Belotti for me will do enough to hold on to his belts, and then if he does get put in with Cameron Vong, he gets beat. I think he's got enough to
beat
steal off someone like Gomez. No disrespect, stealing your line here to Gomez. I think he's got enough to steal off Gomez. And I also think it'll be a good fight because a British title fight is never not a good fight. It
brings the best out of guys.
So it's never in the best out of both of them.
It'll be a good fight. It'll be a good fight because they're both of a similar level. But I don't believe. I'm not as excited as Dan is for the fight. But it'll probably be a fight of the year now. I've said that, and Gomez will go on and win a world title.
It's an interesting one, obviously. Reece Belotti's been with Matchroom a long time. It's sort of one of Eddie's first fighters from when he first came into boxing.
There was him, Cheeseman.
Fell off a cliff face. Obviously, lost to Rafe Ford, didn't he, in Matchroom's back garden during the COVID times. And then he was offered to fight. Who did he beat for the British title? The name escapes me.
I'll find out for you. I can't remember.
But he sent Eddie Hearn a message on the afternoon of the fight today, and he needed to pull out the fight. He was ill, and he was just cracking jokes and having a laugh. And he obviously put in a performance that night at the Indigo that was worthy of the belt. He's defended it at the Copper Box recently.
So he's lost to Ryan Walsh. Then he beat Bandana. He lost to Bradley. He lost to Jordan Gill. Then he lost to Ford. Beat Dean Dodge, Yusuf Kamari, Aqib Fiaz, Liam Dillon,
Liam Dillon, that was it. Liam Dillon was who he won the belts off of.
And Dillon was unbeaten, wasn't he, at the time? I think he was 12-0, 13-0, something like that.
Sorry, mate. Vong is putting his combinations together here. I'm not sure Hughes is going to see much longer in this sixth round. He's getting pinged around the ring.
That was a hit. Nice
the head and body combinations that you were bringing up in a couple of rounds ago are fantastic from Vong.
Stepping on it now, isn't there?
Yeah, he is. He wants to finish. He's got Jordan Flynn sitting there ringside. This is him showing, this is what I'm going to do to you next. Oh, big right hands.
Oh, he's sunk in with that body shot. He's used his knees sagged a little.
Yes, James. It was Liam Dillon that Reece Belotti beat for the British and Commonwealth. He was at the Indigo, wasn't it? It was started this year. I want to say, I know it was on a Next Gen show. I think he was at the Indigo. But Hughes is fighting back again. He's throwing punches. He's still in there.
Oh, he's still in the fight. Yeah, I agree, Dan. That's what I was saying. I wasn't dissing either of them in that respect. It'll probably be a good fight. I just don't think I don't think either of them will win a world title.
No, I was going to say you put either of them in against a world level opponent, then you're going to see their level 100%.
So what we'll see in the next 2 years is Reece Belotti and Michael Gomez both become world champions. Now I've said that. Gomez will go on to be unified. It won't.
And that'll be our first media accreditation tonight. Michael Gomez becomes a world champion. The first time we get
ringside. He'll slap me.
He just points to you as he picks up his world title. Though I can see it now, mate. You next. Okay. Credit to Hughes here. He's come back into this round. It didn't look like he was going to see.
He's still in it. He's still in it. Bless him. He's losing. He's maybe won a round, but again, he's just caught. With
big left hand, Cameron, and again with the right. These are hurtful punches. Now he's not just throwing them; he's throwing them with intent to finish this fight. Smothered his work on the inside there, though. He's just put back to. He's just rushed Hughes onto the ropes with two lovely shots, and then he's gone straight in and allowed Hughes to wrap him up. It was
showing his age and inexperience, isn't he? There, with
that is where he's 5-6-0. Yeah, Jams, it was British and Commonwealth, so those are the belts that Belotti still has now. He defended them at the Copper Box on the Johnny Fisher undercard in July. So look, no disrespect at all, and obviously if Belotti comes through the fight, he has a Lonsdale belt outright, which is a pinnacle for a lot of fighters. Yeah, it's a huge deal. It's a massive deal.
I know a few that have won it, but not outright. It takes a lot to win it outright. You've got to have 3 defenses, haven't you?
It says a lot, doesn't it? That how competitive it is at British level. That how many fighters win a British title, but then how many actually go on to hold it outright because they've gone through the 3 defenses. I think
who's going to see this last 2 rounds out?
2 of the Smith brothers done it. Paul and Stephen, I want to say. Callum won it, but he only had it for 1 fight. I want to say Paul and Stephen won it
outright. So Paul beat Tony Dodson, Sam. Let me check. He boxed Tony. I was when he won it. Paul Smith.
I'm pretty sure it was Paul and Stephen that hold it outright. Liam Liam won it and then gave it up, and Callum knocked out Luke Blackledge, and then that was it for him at British level. He done it on the AJ Molina card. That knockout was chilling, wasn't it? In the 11th round, he just absolutely poleaxed him. The way Blackledge's head bounced off the canvas, it was sickening. If memory serves me right,
so Paul boxed. I think he won it against Tony Quigley, and then boxed Tony Dodson because that was Crawler Reese. I was there that night. That was Bolton, and then he boxed James DeGale. So I'm not sure.
DeGale. Okay, no, so DeGale, he lost it. Okay, I said maybe. I could be wrong.
I might be wrong, mate. I'm not saying I'm right. So I could be wrong because he boxed Tony Dodson again. So the second one might have been the one. That was 29th of the 6th, 2013. So that was the one at Bolton. So maybe because there's Tommy Tolan, Tony Dodson, and Jamie Ambler. So he could have won it outright. It could have been them three. I don't know whether Ambler had got a British title shot, though, with a record of 10, 52, and 2.
Right, so all four of the brothers have held British titles. We know that.
Yeah.
What I want to know, I'm now keen to find out, is which one of them have obviously won it outright. As we move into the 7th round, it's more the same from Cameron Vong here. Sorry, guys, we've gone on to a bit of a sidetrack.
We've gone on a tangent, but this is what we do: talk about boxing, whether it's on the screen or on our phones.
Right, let's have a look. So Paul Smith.
I'm surprised. Hughes's eye looks like it's starting to close, so he's going to start getting caught with them rights.
Right, so he won it against Tony Quigley. First defence was against Tony Dodson. This is Paul Smith.
And then lost it to Gale.
Second defence against the Gale.
So did he win it back against Tony Dodson, and that's his third?
Then fought George Groves in a British and Commonwealth title fight and lost that.
Yeah.
Tony Dodson, won it against Tony Dodson.
Which is Bolton. I were there that night.
Yeah. And didn't defend it because then he had 2 8-rounders and then moved into the Arthur Abraham double fight before he took on Andre Ward. So it wasn't Paul.
Possibly Stephen then.
Yeah, mate. I'm gonna as this fight's going on.
You've got the bit between your teeth about the Smiths now, haven't you? So you're gonna have to find out. Did Liam? I don't think Liam. I can't see Liam boxing.
I don't think Liam. The only one I'm certain of is. Oh, Vong's taking some shots here from Joe Hughes.
Yeah, Hughes is. I think he knows he's well. He obviously knows he's way behind, but he's. I can't believe he's still in it after some of the shots that he's took. I mean, he's just hit Vong with a 5-punch combination. Look, he's on it. Go on.
All right.
He has not come here to lie down. Cameron Vong's been made to fight in round 7.
Yeah, James, you're right, mate. Paul Smith, I've just looked. He did fight a journeyman after he won the British title because he was waiting for the world title shot against Abraham. He had a fight. One of those fights was on the Bellew.
Wasn't it Ambler that he boxed, James?
Wasn't one of those fights on the Bellew Maccabi cards? And he got absolutely slaughtered because he had the British title when he took an 8-rounder.
So he boxed that Jamie Ambler. He boxed a journeyman and then he boxed that David Sarabia just before he boxed Abraham.
Right, so Stephen Smith won the British title. We beat Gary Buckland.
Yeah. Gary Buckland. Wow. Gary Buckland. Bloody hell, that's the Welsh kid, wasn't he, Gary Buckland?
Yeah.
Boxed that
won it in Cardiff, so he won it on the road as well.
Yeah.
And no, he gave it straight up as well because he went on then to WBC silver honours. Right. So maybe we're both wrong and it was Liam.
I don't think, because Liam won the WBO fairly early in his career, didn't he?
He did, didn't he?
So, surprisingly, Hughes has made it through to the last round. Are we going to see a late stoppage?
Liam Smith won the British title against Eric Oshing at the Olympia in Liverpool.
Eric Ochieng, wow.
Defended it against Mark Thompson.
Okay.
Defended it against Jason Wellborn.
Yeah. And did he defend it against Liam Williams? No.
No, he then moved on to fight Zoltan Zera in a eliminator for a world title. So he only defended it twice.
So none of them have won it outright.
None of them have. So I stand corrected. They've all held it. I did think 2 of them had gone out. I had won it outright though, but they've definitely. I don't think there's another set of brothers where 4 of them have held a British title anyway.
I don't think there's been another 4 brothers, have there? Boxing 4.
So that's what they have done though. From just looking at it, all four brothers apart from Callum defended it twice. Callum was the only one that didn't defend it, so they all had at least 2 defenses. Anyways, we move into the 8th round of this fight. How Hughes is still standing is
testing. I tell you what, Hughes will come again. Hughes has well put himself in the shot window for all 3 of these promoters because he will give anybody a tough night and maybe might even do big things himself. I mean, he'll be 8-4 after this. I think
8-4, yeah, there's enough. And he's got Fong backed up on the ropes again here as we move 2 minutes to go in the last round. He's giving it his all. He's not letting the cut affect him, despite the fact that his corner's done good work. There's no blood flowing from that at the moment, from what I can see.
And he's still looking for like cute body shots and stuff. He's not just swinging; he's actually boxing here.
He is. Look, and we said we wanted to see Cameron Vaughn get a stoppage, but if we're realistic, after the injury layoff for him again and an opponent falling through,
probably done him more good. This has probably done him more good than a 2-round blowout, hasn't it?
It has, because look, Jordan. The fact I've seen Jordan Flynn at ringside tonight. I know everyone wants to be around these weird season events, but they've shown him on camera ringside during the Cameron Vaughn fight. That is being made for Birmingham on the Sonny Galal card, 100%.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, mate.
If they can put another couple of decent ones on there, maybe worth a trip.
He was a tough Welshman. I think he's talking about Gary Buckland.
Gary Buckland's, yeah, it was big right hand again, and he's just Vaughn with the big right hand sticks his tongue out at Hughes. He gives him a little shoulder shrug back. There's good respect between these two in there. They've definitely earned each other's respect in these 8 rounds. I think Vaughn has respect for Hughes for some of the shots he's taken, and you can't deny Cameron Vong's talent. You only have to look at Hughes' face, despite the effort he's put into this. That eye is now streaming again, by the way. So as good a job as his corner has done, he's absolutely streaming as we're into the last 30 seconds. Cameron Vong's loving it. He's taking punches here on the ropes, and he's got the biggest smile on his face. He's absolutely loving this.
Take a shot, can't he, Cameron? He can take a shot.
He can do. I was going to say, I mean, can we say this is a proper chin test for him? Probably not. That's more likely to come against Jordan Flynn. You would expect, or if it doesn't come against Flynn, it will come against either Bellotti or Gomez, if that's the route he does go on.
Yeah.
But look, we're into the fight. He's looking for the finisher still in the final 10 seconds. Referee should have a look at this. The bells. Just as the referee was about to jump in there at the end, the bells saved him. The ref made that movement there to say he was ready to call that off. He's
good performance.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic performance from Cameron. It shows the level he's at, and he's definitely going to move on to bigger or better things.
Yeah, I like that.
And Hughes, you know what? Like you say, Hughes will come again, mate. But Ben will give him some work. Ben needs to find fights.
Ben needs the fighters, to be fair. He'll be doing Ben a favor.
We are pissing about it, but you might sign him.
Possibly. Jams is saying the Smith brothers did defend 3 titles on the same night too, if I remember correctly. I can't remember the fight card.
That would have been Paul, Stephen, and Liam, though, wouldn't it? Callum didn't win his until 2015, and by then,
will have been. I'm trying to think. Tony Quigley. When he fought Tony Quigley, them two didn't have theirs. Can't remember. Jams. I'll have to.
I do remember it. I do remember there being a thing about the 3 of them defending British titles on the same card. So it sounds like something plausible to happen. But we'll see. Anyone that's got sound on here, if you can let us know what the scorecard is for this fight when it gets announced, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, please do.
If Jordan Flynn comes into the ring, I think we know what comes next.
Oh God, Sam Jones is there. He gets where water can't him, doesn't he?
The man has a haircut once a week. Sam Jones, as he likes to throw into interviews all the time. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do fast food. So of course I treat myself to a haircut once a week. I remember watching that interview in IFL, and I think the first word out of my mouth was prick.
Yes. Yeah, he's a hard watch, isn't he? He loves himself, does old Sam. But listen, he's managed to graft himself money out of being sort of a manager as such. He's what the fuck is it?
What he was with? He's with S Jam and Joe Joyce, and he's left Will from the In-Betweeners, Adam Morley, and that crew to get on with it. And he's sort of forging his own path now, isn't he? He's out on his own. He's left S Jam. It's just funny that S Jam still exists when it's obviously his company that he set up in his name.
Oh, it's weird.
Right, card 79-73. 7 rounds.
Agreed.
7 rounds to 1. That's probably a fair reflection.
Yeah, we said you give him first, didn't you?
Yeah, I said you can make an argument for giving Hughes the first. You could have maybe given him the 5th as well. I think it was where he had a decent end to the fight. Cameron Vaughn going out to the ring. I'm not sure if
I thought Vaughn had more fights than that. I thought he'd had about 6 or 7.
I think he's been scheduled to have about 11 or 12 and different things.
Is that what it is? Yeah, you did say that earlier. I thought he'd had about 6. Oh,
he's had two fights fall from him this year. One was on the Castrol Prograde card, and I'm pretty sure he was due to be on either the Denny Cash card or the card at the Copper Box that Johnny Fisher headlines.
Yeah,
and he had fall off. One was him, and one was his opponent. So, yeah, if he didn't have this, he would have probably had. This would have been his 13th, 14th fight.
Yeah,
that's the way to look at it. He's been unlucky. Jordan Flynn's pulled out twice on him. So put it this way: if they announce Jordan Flynn tonight, I will temper my excitement just because this will be the 3rd time this fight's been announced, won't it?
It'll be the Khabib and Tony Ferguson of the British domestic boxing scene. Do you think? Sorry to cut you. Do you think Vaughn was taking shots tonight, knowing he could take them, or do you think it's a flaw in his defence?
No, I think he was testing himself tonight. I think he was happy to test himself. I think once he'd felt Hughes' power early on, he was happier to take a few shots later in the fight. For me, that's my assessment of it. But look, you could be right. We could have just discovered the flaw to his game, and I'm sure if Jordan Flynn sitting there at ringside is going to convince himself that's a flaw in Cameron Vong's game, and that could potentially be to his detriment because Cameron Vong's punch selection, head to body, jab to hips, cut is beautiful to watch, and I've really, and he times it perfectly as well. So if Flynn is taking it from that fight tonight, that Cameron's easy to hit, could be to his detriment. It could actually end up being an early night for Cameron if he comes in.
Yeah, if he's not careful, because Jordan Flynn can put his punches together, so he won't give.
For all we know, Jamie and Nigel have told him to do that because they know Jordan's there and they know he can cope with it, and they're trying to maybe
plan
they don't want to see. Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, maybe.
But
it was a good fight card, man. I could watch more of these Wednesday night fights. It might end up being a thing.
Hey, it's nice when they're not in America. They done it obviously for Crawford Madrimov, but that was about 3 a.m. by the time I watched it the next morning.
We can't be doing that, but no, 6 to 8 card. What we're on now, 9 o'clock. It's not too bad, man.
Okay. All right, so it doesn't look like
like they're announcing the fight, does it?
So quickly touch on yesterday's grand arrivals. Anything jump out to you from that?
Not really. It was non-eventful, really, wasn't it? It's all gone very respectful again.
It made me laugh. I think about a month before that, I was walking through that part of Leicester Square on a Wednesday afternoon quite happily, and then you see it there with the purple carpet.
I think I've sat in the...
I've sat in the Wetherspoons. I've sat in the Wetherspoons.
Outside the Spoons, yeah. I've sat outside the Spoons and had a burger there before now.
Yeah, mate, it's just, okay, so Vong is just called... If you pulled a comment up, mate, the last one from Jams, Vong is just called Flynn.
Not me. He called me that, Jams, because if he did, mate, he's in trouble. Telling you, mate. I can make what weight's he at? Yeah, I can't make it, so he's lucky. But Dev's on the screen now,
and he's in the crowd and said it's never going to happen as he's been offered too many times.
Oh, so they're now saying fights.
I will just say this: if that's coming from Cameron Vong himself,
it's not going to happen.
No, I will say if it's coming from Cameron Vong himself, I can understand the frustrations because it's not like Flynn has pulled out early into a training camp. He's pulled out in the last 2 weeks both times.
Yeah, so right close, wasn't it?
Right close to the fight 2 times now. You know what? I can understand it. Look, the fight will happen. Jamie Moore, Nigel Travis, Eddie Hearn, they'll make the fight happen. But I can understand Cameron being reluctant to say he's willing to have that fight because he's put himself through 2 tough training camps, you would assume, to then probably be starting his weight cut for the fights to be cancelled. And then he's left there going, right, what the hell am I meant to do now? So I can understand it from Cameron's point of view. He's also a young kid. He's 23 years old, like we've said tonight. So he's gonna say that's those sort of things, isn't he? He's not.
Have you seen some of the interactions with Ben and Eddie? Oh, God.
Yes, I have, mate.
Did you see Bo?
The IFL, yeah. Yeah, that today was.
That was awkward, wasn't it? Cringy.
So seeing that makes me wonder. There's obviously more. We knew there was more to that split than we knew, but there's obviously a lot more to it than we know because I still claim that Buatsi's move to boxer has not worked out. Not yet. Look, he'll be a WBO interim champion, upgraded via email to full world champion by the end of this year, you would imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, he needs to start pulling off his potential for me. That 100%. Right, anything else?
Going too slow for me.
Yeah.
Going too slow for me.
He's a 2016 Olympian. He made his debut in 2017. We're now in 2024, and he's held a British and Commonwealth title twice to both of them. And this is his first foray into world title on his, albeit with an interim title. So
Adi Oladipo bigging himself up again. Arrogant bloke he is. He's actually. Do you know what? He sent me a voice note randomly out of the blue. I think he's a nice guy, and I've watched him since he was a bit part player on TalkSport. Like Adam Catterall, he's just grafted and grafted and grafted, and now he's the face of boxing in terms of.
That's what I was about to say. That's not something I can agree with. Addy's come from being the T-boy, hasn't he, at TalkSport, and now being on fight nights. He goes around. Addy doesn't just do the UK DAZN shows. He goes around the American shows. So
Addy does a lot. You put TalkSport on at 12 o'clock midnight, and he's doing boxing shows, football shows. Yeah. You know, he's a grafter. I've got to disagree with you there, Dan. But
is there anything else you want to cover, mate? Either from what we've seen tonight, from the weigh-ins, anything? Obviously, Shiskin's been announced against Shiskin for the IBF super middleweight title. Shiskin and
we're on about doing the Jolly Boys, aren't we?
Some obscure part of Germany. See what happens.
10 minutes outside of Berlin. Let's go.
Shiskin, Skull and Shiskin has been announced for the 19th of October for the IBF title, so that's a bit of boxing news for tonight. Both of them are cannon fodder for Caleb Plant.
Yeah,
or even Edgar Berlanga. I'll throw Berlanga in there.
Maybe. I want to see Berlanga Plant me. I want to see Berlanga Plant, or do you know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see McCumbee get a decent fight. I think he put a good showing on other night, and I think I'd like to see him fight again.
Here's what I think will happen, mate. So Shiskin and Skull are going to fight for this world title. The winner of that is going to fight Plant. Berlanga is going to fight McCumbee in his Puerto Rican homecoming next year. That's what I think will happen.
First time in Puerto Rico for McCumbee and Berlanga.
That is all on Jay's Fight Talk. I was just going to leave it at Puerto Rican homecoming, but if you want to bait out Eddie Hearn for what he said in the interview, mate, you can like that.
But yeah, that's a good shout, mate. Some good fights there, and it's like a sort of a tournament, isn't it? But
it is because look, Plant's in a good position with the IBF, so Berlanga shouldn't go above him to get the title shot for me. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
And McCumbee deserves the shot. Berlanga's not going to want to go down to an 8-rounder against the human punch bag, is he? So make both of those fights, and then look, if McCumbee pulls off beating Berlanga, there's a world title fight there for him. If Berlanga wins it, then he's got himself back in the world title picture. Eddie Hearn says that he wants to get him, and he wants to look at that IBF route. So yeah, but he's got to take a fight first. Yeah, Trevor McCumbee deserves the opportunity, and Caleb Plant. We know the IBF have got him highly ranked, and we know that's probably going to be what they call. They probably call it as Skull and Shiskin are walking to the ring on the 19th of October.
Probably they'll announce it inappropriately, like they always do.
Or they'll strip the fighter and give it straight to Plant as soon as they're in the belt. You never know with the IBF. They are the governing body of whatever week it is. They decide what the rules are going to be.
They just chop and change as it's to suit them and their favourite fighters, don't they? But yeah.
That's why Klitschko held onto a belt for 6 years without ever fighting his IBF mandatory. But we will.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
Let's not get into that. Anyway.
No, I've not got anything else to talk about from tonight other than to just say thanks for joining me, Liam. Thanks to everybody that's interacted. Make sure you follow Liam on X. It's Liam_Tully9. Wednesdays over on Steve Talks Boxing X. Liam's Fight Night Picks is a weekly prediction show. It's also sort of a magazine style show. You do talk about the fights as well, don't you? And
we do. So Joshua Dubois episode came out this lunchtime. Views are going really well. Again, I said it on my show, but I say it here. The views and the feedback from my debut show blew me away. Wasn't expecting to get anywhere close to 1.5 views. So it's fantastic. Keep all the comments coming. If you'd like to be a guest, then get in touch with me on X, and we'll set the ball rolling definitely. But we will be back on Friday, won't we? I believe
we're back on Friday. We're going to do a weigh-in show. It'll be back to the Three Amigos. It'll either be on Jay's Fight Talk or it'll be over on SW Fight Hub. Sam will be joining us again on Friday. So yeah, just left for me to say.
I think we're going to go live, aren't we, for the weigh-ins?
We are going live for the weigh-ins. So we'll see you next time. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for joining us all. We'll see you next time.
Cheers, guys.